Well, good morning, everybody. I want to thank the mayor and the chief for hosting us. We appreciate it very much. And we've come together today to provide an update on our public safety partnership here in Dayton and to talk about the situation in regard to violent crime. Probably the most important function of government is to protect people. And that's really what we're about today. Partnerships that we're going to describe today are so vitally important. Ohio is a local government state. We don't have a state police, but we have the State Highway Patrol. We have over 900 police agencies throughout the state of Ohio. What we have found is that when these groups come together and work together, it gives us our best chance at protecting people and our best chance at going after the violent repeat offenders. Early in our administration, I asked the Ohio State Highway Patrol to prioritize their support of local law enforcement, to share technology, to share intelligence, manpower, and other resources to help local agencies keep their residents safe. And actually, Dayton was one of the first law enforcement agencies to take us up on this offer, which we appreciate very much. So there's already a long established relationship between the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the Dayton Police Department, and the other local and federal partners who are here with us today. What's new today, though, is that we're announcing an enhanced collaboration that includes the investment of new state resources to conduct focused, data-driven violent crime reduction operations. This truly is a team effort. Involves a number of different departments. And let me talk about the members of this team. Locally, we of course have the Dayton Police Department as well as Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. At the state level is the Ohio State Highway Patrol, plus the 3 additional agencies that we're now supporting this work. 1, the Ohio Investigative Unit, 2, the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center, and 3, the Ohio Adult Parole Authority. Federal law enforcement partners are very important. The ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshal's Office. I also want to mention the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office, as well as the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Ohio. They are certainly part of this partnership. To the repeat violent offenders who continuously disregard the law and illegally carry guns, we have this as a warning today. We're using the combined expertise of every one of these agencies to find you, to put you in jail, to put you in prison, and get you out of the community. This work is already underway, and we're doing this for the long term. It's not just a one-and-done operation. So let me break our state support down. First, the Ohio State Highway Patrol Aviation Unit. The best way to explain how the Ohio State Highway Patrol is supporting this work is to show you. The patrol's aviation team gives meaning to the phrase, "You can run, but you cannot hide." So we have 2 videos to show you all this morning. In the first, Dayton police spot a stolen car and try to stop it, but the driver flees. Ultimately, 2 juveniles aged 15 and 17 are arrested after they attempt to ditch a gun. Let's see the video.
Yeah, it's gonna flee. It almost struck 2 vehicles there. Watch yourselves. Should have good sticks on the left front. Okay, 2 are bailing. I'm with the driver. Eastbound, they're both heading eastbound. They're gonna come over a fence over toward Phillips. They're sticking together. One of them has a backpack. Okay, they're gonna come back at 1118 Epworth. They're coming in the side door. Okay, I marked that. I think they just threw something in the side door there. 118 Epworth, they're trying to get in the back door.
Hands up, man. Put your hands up. Hands up, come out here. Both of you lay down. Lay down right now. Lay down right now. Lay down. Both of you lay down right now. Dude, lay.
Okay, he's got one on the ground, fighting with one. The other one's running back. Units, turn around, right behind you. Turn around, turn around, turn around.
Hey, stop!
Front yards there.
Get on the ground!
Give me commands now.
As you just saw, really a great thing about having the patrol in the air is they eliminate the need for dangerous road pursuits on the ground. To me, this is one of the most important things of having that helicopter up there. And you can see how this works. And you can see there's a very, very close working relationship between the Highway Patrol that's in the air. It may also have a Dayton PD person in that helicopter as well, with the Dayton PD on the ground. And I think you can see how that coordination works just so amazingly well. We don't have to have a ground, much of a ground pursuit by car. You don't have to have that. And you saw in this case that was not required at all. When we hear about gun violence, those responsible are quite often individuals already prohibited from carrying a gun due to a previous felony conviction or because they're under the age of 18. In this next example, Dayton police get a call of shots fired, and our patrol aviation team quickly spots two people leaving the area, one of whom unsuccessfully tries to hide a firearm that he was not legally allowed to possess anyway.
Please be advised, the shooting just hit the board 549 Huron. I don't have any further yet.
I got two people walking out of the back of that address right now. They're going southbound through an alley between Huron and Wolt. Okay. Yeah, they just dropped the gun. I'll walk you onto it when you get over there. Okay, now they're running northbound through the same alley. That one right there. Down to your right side, under whatever that is there, they threw something under whatever that piece is there. Yep, right there. Looks like it's 547, 549, I think it's.
So, just to be clear, these teams are really not blanketing the city looking for everyone they can arrest. These are very, very targeted operations. They're focused, they're data-driven, they're intelligence-driven operations. It's using the intelligence of the Dayton PD and as well as the intelligence of the state. Let me talk for a moment about the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center. This is a center that we established. This new state agency support, the new state support from the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center really pairs our state intelligence analysts with Dayton's intelligence team to focus in on the areas of the city where the data shows the most crime. Again, these are targeted operations, not just sweeping through. They're very, very, very targeted, and they're data-driven. They're also narrowing in to locate the repeat violent offenders who are behind most of the crime in the city. And Dayton's no different than any other city. You expect to find this a relatively small number of people commit most of the violent crime in every city in the state of Ohio. We know who these individuals are. It's actually, as I said, a smaller number of people than you might think. Let's go to the first chart. New statewide data from the Ohio Department of Public Safety going back to 1974. From 1974 to 2023 reaffirms what I've been saying for a long time and what every police officer who is out there in a city can tell you. And that is, it's a small group of people who are responsible for most of the violent crime in the state of Ohio. These latest numbers show that less than 1% of Ohio's adult population was arrested for a violent crime or weapons offense in any given year. And it also shows most of these individuals are repeat offenders. Now, let's take a look at this next chart. DPS's analysis found that 69% of individuals arrested for a violent crime between 1974 and 2023 had been arrested more than once. 69%. Now look at this, however. When you focus on the repeat offenders arrested 5 times or more, they constitute a third of all arrests. A third of all these individuals have been arrested 5 times or more. Now let's look at people arrested specific on weapons charges. Again, these are individuals who have a weapon who are not legally allowed to have a weapon, either because of age or in most cases because of prior convictions. When looking just at weapons offenses, 81% of people arrested are repeat offenders. 81%. They've been arrested 2 times or more. Now, focusing on those arrested 5 times or more, 50% of all people arrested on weapons charges over the last 49 years are repeat offenders who have been arrested at least 5 times before. Under Ohio law, if you've already been convicted of a violent crime in the past, you can't carry a firearm, period. No exceptions. But so many people do it anyway. So it makes sense for us to focus in on those who are breaking the law just by possessing a firearm and to get them in custody before they can use that firearm. Let me talk about another resource, and that is the Ohio Adult Parole Authority. As part of this enhanced partnership, our Adult Parole Authority will be putting in extra time to locate individuals who've been released from prison after serving their time, but where they have fled. And thus, because they fled, they violated the terms of their post-release control. They'll also be working on more unannounced visits with former inmates who haven't absconded, who haven't taken off, but are frankly at a high risk to offend. And we can tell the high risk. There's a metric that enables us to more target on those particular individuals. Let me talk now about the third unit, the Ohio Investigative Unit. These are generally referred to, I think, by the public as liquor control agents. Liquor control agents with the Ohio Investigative Unit will also be part of these operations. They enforce Ohio's liquor laws and can make arrests anywhere that liquor is sold in the state. Oftentimes, they'll find patrons illegally carrying guns on the premises. And every illegally possessed gun we can get off the streets is a gun that won't be used to hurt someone in the future. In just a moment, I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, but I do want to stress that crime only isn't an issue in Dayton. Partnerships like this are not unique to Dayton alone, although we've had this partnership with Dayton for some period of time, and we appreciate that very, very much. We have a number of violent crime reduction operations in cities across the state of Ohio. So far, they've led to nearly 500 felony arrests this year and more than 150 illegally possessed guns taken out of circulation. So we're very appreciative of all of our partners statewide who have dedicated themselves to this mission. And again, I'll emphasize the importance of that partnership. We'll start with the mayor, then the chief, then Colonel Jones, Andy Wilson then Colonel Jones, and then we'll open it up for questions. Mayor?
First of all, I'll say again, good morning. No response, good morning?
Good morning.
Okay, and again, thank you to the governor for the homework that they've done. I'll say about 2 years ago, being part of the Mayor's Alliance, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, as well as some other groups, working and with mayors in Kansas City, Cleveland, Columbus, and other places, we sent a letter to the governor talking about the challenges that we had in our cities. And a couple of years ago, he did invite us to his home to talk about those issues. So we met for probably about 2 hours talking with, again, the governor and some of the support staff that he had, including Andy Wilson, about some of the challenges that we have. One of the things that I asked him in real specific terms, real specific language, that as we work to continue to project and protect the investments that the governor is making across the state of Ohio, in terms of knowing that the large cities are the greatest economic drivers as far as the state of Ohio is concerned. And while we've been working very well in terms of being the leader here in Dayton in terms of job growth in the region over the last 10 years, but we talked about the aspect of how we need to have his support to help us protect those investments. The investments that we've gotten in the course of the strong work that we had in partnership with our business community and others to make sure that we're continuing to move the economic needle in the right direction as far as the city of Dayton is concerned. We've been leading, again, you heard me say a few moments ago, in terms of job growth, but also seeing a median income increase of almost $20,000 just in the last 10 years. We have to keep those things going. And as the governor mentioned before, one of the biggest things that we can do in terms of government is keep our people safe. That's a major, major investment that we have as far as the city of Dayton is concerned to follow up on the process. You heard them mention, again, in some of my notes here, say that we reduced violent crime by 17%, but I heard just a few moments ago before we came in here, it's 18% now. We looked at some data that I think that was raised earlier this year, talking about some of the data between 23 and 24 that was not as positive. But one crime is one crime too many. One loss of life is one loss of life too many. I know when we had a situation here last year, I had to talk about the death of a young man, 16 years old. And later on that day, I was trying to figure out how I could celebrate my granddaughter's birthday, who was 16 years old on that same day. A major transition mentally for me as mayor and also as a grandparent, to look at how we have this responsibility of taking care of our young people as well. So this situation, to me, is very important. It's very important, more so than a lot of people realize, in how we make things happen. So when we talked to the governor about that, some of the kind of things that he said here a few moments ago were some of the kinds of responses that he said that we're making. Some of the issues in terms of dealing with technology. We talked a lot about the relationship that he has with our police chief here in Dayton, and the police chief, of course, Andy Wilson, who works for the governor. We talked about a young man, or several young men, I think it was, that had been involved in a murder here in the city of Dayton. And then we found that individual in Cleveland because of the strong correlation that we had in terms of sharing information and using technology and using data. Some of these efforts have also led us to be challenged in terms of how we put things together, dealing with the things such as NATO, keeping all the 13,000 people seemed like they were here. I think it was 1,300. I won't say 13,000. 1,300 people who were here being safe in that space as well. The Real-Time Crime Center has been a major, major factor that we also involved here in the city of Dayton to make sure that we're able to look at some of these situations, much like a crime center in other places. Some of the things you see on TV sometimes in terms of some of the command centers that you see, we're advanced to that point right here in the city of Dayton as well. Being able to look and have some almost 60 cameras just downtown to look at things that are happening and giving alerts to some of the kinds of things that our police can do even beforehand, before there's a crime committed. Many times they're able to move into those spaces and be able to prevent some of those kinds of things from happening. I think additionally, when we look at these situations, you've seen and heard us also say that we've been able to apprehend individuals a lot quicker, if you will, because of some of the technology that we're using in those spaces. You know, building 2 new police stations, one in center downtown and one moving another one onto another area in East 3rd or West 3rd Street here in the city of Dayton, also supports us and supports our police in terms of moving again with the major, major emphasis on keeping our people safe. So these things are extremely, extremely important for us. I think I want to make sure that I'm not missing any notes and things that I'm supposed to say, but I think the collaboration is something that is extremely important. Being able to use technology with the drones and that type of network also, as you heard, puts us in a situation where we are protecting our police as well as citizens, because we're not involved in a lot of high-speed chases, because we got the, as you saw on the screen, allow the ability to apprehend individuals just by looking and seeing where they are, and again, being able to protect a lot of the innocent bystanders who will be in some of those spaces as our police do the very important work that they have to do, again, to keep our citizens safe. So I'm going to stop right there. Again, pass it over to the chief, and if we have any additional questions, but then sure we'll be here to take care of those. Thank you again for being here.
Well, good morning. My name is Karaman Afzal. For those that might not know me, I'm the police chief in Dayton. I've been here for 4 years. To be honest, Governor DeWine and Mayor Mims just took all my thunder. All the things I was going to talk about, they've already spoken. So I'll try to keep it short. I do want to thank Governor DeWine, the partnership that under his administration that we've had with Dayton Police and law enforcement in general has been outstanding. I definitely want to appreciate Director Wilson and Colonel Jones, who have been great partners. Some of these operations that might seem new, they really are not new. As I was talking to our staff with the assist of aviation, we were, I believe, the first agency in Ohio. My understanding is that in 2017, that we started using aviation as an asset. So instead of trying to go after individuals that we know are going to run and cause havoc, so instead of doing that, just having the helicopter or one of the aviation assets kind of watch them. And if you saw a couple of the videos, without that, a lot of the operations that we do would not have been possible. And to be honest, our partnership with our state patrol partners even goes back further. I think early 2000s, related to our traffic issues. Our traffic service unit and patrol has been partnered with each other for a lot of years. We get a lot of grants. I mean, to this day, we partner for getting individuals off the streets who are driving recklessly or are driving under the influence of alcohol or any other intoxicant. You heard a lot about crime and our approach. Our approach, as my boss, Deputy City Manager Parlett, reminded me that I have a saying that instead of fishing with the net, we want to fish with the spear. So some of the assets the commission has approved under the leadership of Mayor Mims, and really do appreciate that, has helped us in really focusing our efforts when we do have victimization. And I think part of the crime stats we want to talk about is really about victimization and the fact that we have victims in our community and how do we speak for them. For offenders, we have a U.S. Constitution. We have to follow those rules to the T. I think a lot of times what gets missed is that for every person that we're trying to go after, there are several victims who they're victimized, and we want to make sure that the victimization stops. Our numbers, I think Mayor Mims talked about that we are down about 18% in almost every category for violent crime. For shooting into habitations, over the last 2 years, we're down 41%. That's when somebody's house is shot. Those are great things, but the job isn't done by any stretch of the imagination. We want to make sure that we have no crime. The initiative that the commission and the mayor started on the peace campaign, trying to make Dayton the safest city possible in the world, not just in the U.S. Correct. I think that's our focus, and our part is to play for those that do not want to go along with the social order, and they want to violate the social order. Our job is to then go try to apprehend them, bring them to justice. In that sense, I want to thank our own prosecutors at the state level and also at the federal level, depending on the nature of the crime. Sometime it will go federal, sometime it will go state. Lastly, I want to mention that our team now, we are looking at all of our crime data over the last several years to see what kind of connectivity can we make. So Governor DeWine talked about ONIC, so I really want to thank the staff at ONIC with our own analyst and analysts at ONIC. We're looking at making sure that when we do have tragedies like somebody's life is taken, when somebody's house is shot, or when somebody is shot non-fatally, are there links among individuals that might be operating as a criminal enterprise? And if they are, then we're going to go after them. Our message is clear, as the governor said, that if you're going to commit crimes, we're not going to sit idly by and let you be okay, right? If you today stop doing everything, then we're okay. But if you're going to continue some of the things that we're seeing, our job is to do our part and move them forward in the criminal justice system and present cases to prosecutors, and then let them present cases to the judges and juries to make sure that they are held responsible and the victims are made whole. So I do want to appreciate all the help. And I know Marshall Black is here. We have a great partnership with Marshall Black. And also, I saw Chief Roy back there from Sheriff's Office, because this is definitely a collaboration with different municipalities that work in conjunction with each other in Miami Valley. So very great partnership. With that, I'm going to give the floor to Director Wilson.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Mayor Mims. Listen, it's an honor to be here this morning talking about how together as a team we're working to protect the Miami Valley and the citizens of Dayton. And I have had the opportunity to be in the command center when we do these operations. I've been there for the operational briefs. And I can tell you, I go all over the state and I work on these initiatives all over the state. What you have here in Dayton, what you have here in the Miami Valley is one of the best examples of collaboration. Everybody works well together. Everybody is rowing in the same direction with a single goal of keeping people safe. And it's certainly exemplified by the people that we have standing up here with us today. An important part of the statewide violent crime reduction initiative is transparency and keeping the public informed of the results of our efforts in each city across Ohio. To accomplish this goal, we are tracking the results of each operation and making those results available to the public. To that end, today, I want to announce that the Ohio Department of Public Safety has created a website, publicsafety.ohio.gov/VCI. publicsafety.ohio.gov/VCI, like Violent Crime Initiative. We created that so all Ohioans can find information on how the initiative is helping to keep them safe by removing violent offenders off the streets. The website has 3 parts to it. The main page includes a summary of the violent crime reduction initiatives and cumulative statistics year to date regarding the number of felony arrests, the number of felony warrants served, recovered firearms, and recovered stolen vehicles. The page also includes video playlists, just like you saw right there, so the public can see what officers are facing when they make an arrest. Additionally, there's a list, again, like you see up there right now, there's a list of partner agencies involved in these initiatives. We want the public to see the different law enforcement entities, the different groups that are working together to keep them safe. The next part of the page is the offender page. And that page on the website includes detailed information about who was arrested and what for during violent crime reduction initiatives in Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Dayton. Those arrested are grouped according to city, and by clicking on an individual's name, the public will be able to access specific information about an offender, including any prior offense or any prior offenses. And again, that's important. It's important because we want the public to see what we are dealing with or what you are dealing with or the people who are actually committing these offenses in your community. The site also shows whether or not an offender arrested on one of our initiatives has been let out on bond. The final part, or the final page, is the news page on the website, and that will include links to news releases about the violent crime reduction initiatives across the state over the past 2 months. The public can click on each of these releases to access video and photos from specific operations, learn stories behind the capture of the offenders, and find out which law enforcement partners were involved. We will continue to update the website with information from each violent crime reduction initiative in the future. We think it's incredibly important for the public to see the great work being done by law enforcement to keep them safe. We also think that there needs to be some level of transparency with respect to what is happening in these cases. Far too often, our brave men and women of law enforcement are out there on the streets risking their lives to get these dangerous offenders off the streets, only to have the court give a low bond or a weak sentence, which allows that offender to go right back in the community and commit more crimes. We want the public to have the full picture of what is happening in these cases from arrest all the way through sentencing. This website will help make that information available to all Ohioans. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Colonel Jones from the State Highway Patrol.
Good morning. I'm Colonel Charles Jones, the Superintendent of the Ohio State Highway Patrol. At the heart of everything we do is a simple, powerful belief. Every person in Ohio, including every family member here in Dayton, deserves to be safe. safe in their homes, and safe in their neighborhoods, and safe in their daily routines. Safety isn't just a statistic, it's a promise. A promise that when you walk your child to school, when you drive to work, or when you sit on your front porch, you can do so without fear. On behalf of the Ohio State Highway Patrol, I want the people of Dayton to know that we care deeply about this community. We understand the toll violent crime takes, the pain it brings to families, and the disruption it causes to futures. And that understanding drives our commitment to take meaningful action and support the people who live and work here. That commitment is reflected in the leadership of Governor Mike DeWine, who has made reducing violent crime and strengthening community safety a priority of his administration. Governor DeWine recognizes that a strong quality of life begins with security, and he continues to support strategies that bring federal, state, and local law enforcement together with one unified mission: safer communities for every Ohioan. As part of this work, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, in partnership with federal and local agencies, will be conducting coordinated violent crime reduction operations in the Dayton area. These efforts are designed to enhance the outstanding work already being done by Dayton area law enforcement and to bring additional tools and resources to help reduce violence and prevent victimization. This model has been used successfully in cities across Ohio, and the approach remains consistent, targeted, collaborative, and shaped by the needs of each community. Here's how these operations will work. First, data-driven deployment. These are focused, intelligence-led operations directing efforts towards the small number of individuals responsible for the majority of violent crime. We use real-time data to identify high crime areas and repeat offenders, ensuring our efforts are precise and targeted. Second, strategic collaboration. These operations bring together a unifying team consisting of patrol troopers, local officers, federal partners, specialized units, and the patrol's aviation assets. In particular, the patrol's aviation section plays a critical role during pursuits, helping to reduce the risk and liability, and that's very, very important, reduce the risk and liability while tracking criminal activity from above. By working side by side with shared communication and coordinated command, we strengthen officer safety, improve our ability to respond quickly, and create a more comprehensive approach to violent crime. And third, specialized enforcement. Each operation is centered around the needs of the community it supports. Here in Dayton, that includes assisting with high-risk offenders, supporting saturation patrols in areas experiencing increased violence, and partnering with the Ohio Investigative Unit and Adult Parole Authority to address locations or environments where violent crime tends to occur. For the people of Dayton, here's what this means. It means safer streets, it means fewer victims, and it means neighborhoods gaining stability and peace. These operations are about protection. They're about reinforcing the sense of security every resident deserves. And they're about showing the power of partnerships and collaboration. Because when law enforcement at every level works together, and I say this a lot, we can make a real lasting difference. Violent crime is a challenge faced by communities across Ohio, which is why this model is being used statewide. We know it works. The goal is the same everywhere: to help residents feel safe and to ensure they are safe. We are proud to stand with the dedicated law enforcement officers serving the Dayton region. Their commitment to this community is unwavering, and the Ohio State Highway Patrol is honored to support their efforts with our resources. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to Governor DeWine. Governor?
Thank you very much. Happy to answer any questions.